Resident Evil 6.
Hello there, Seraphim17 once again, introducing you to my Resident Evil 6 Professional Difficulty video walkthrough. This is the last section to Chapter 4 of the Leon campaign, and we're on a train trying to kill the sudden last boss. I forget his name, he's called Derek or something equally mundane, and he turns into something that looks quite similar to what William Birkin turned into at the end of Resident Evil 2. It's like a dog thing, super giant dog, and we're about to fight maybe 2 to 3 different phases of this fight. And what is happening is you go up to I believe the top of the train, you shoot the boss a little bit, then it forces you back under the train, and then you can go either on top or stay below. Then you end up going onto another train, and it just it goes from there. But there he is, good old Derek. Mutated Derek is his name, and he's going to charge you at the start here. So just unload some pistol rounds into him. You have to stun him to bring him back to human form, or he will punch you. So just go guns blazing, take him out as quick as you can. And you'll notice I want to conserve ammo, but at the same time, you need to do enough damage to prompt this. When he's in this form, wait for him to completely solidify, and you'll hit a checkpoint. So Leon Commando slides into the train, you get followed by the boss, and this is when it gets not so much more challenging, but a little bit more, you're probably going to take some damage, because this boss can move fast and he knocks you down a lot. But the best strategy I found is to run as far away from him, put a couple of cabins between you and him, because you'll notice when he goes through the doorways, it takes him a while to do so, and in that time you can shoot him, do a lot of damage, and hopefully turn him back to human form where you can do some real damage. And the thing with these bosses is, because it's on professional, they take a ridiculous amount of punishment, and at times you don't really know what the best way to damage them is. Do you use the Magnum? Do you use the super powerful weapons? Or is it one of those things where when you get him to a certain phase, just shooting him once with any weapon will do the same amount of damage, so wasting a Magnum shot is pointless at that point? Like, the game doesn't convey the best ways of beating any of the enemies, and that is a shame, because there's certain rules in Resident Evil that have kind of always been there. Like, the shotgun usually always knocks people over. It doesn't do that on this game. The Magnum usually always, is the fuck you gun. It kind of isn't on this game, and I don't know if that's because you can't upgrade things, so everything is just, slightly more powerful than everything else. I'm not too sure. But this section here, I decided to throw her up to see what she could do, to see if she could cause some damage and force the boss down. But she doesn't really do much, except for getting caught upstairs. The boss comes down, and it's down to me now to stun him, but that's not a problem, because the AI is never going to be the damage dealer. But I'm using the pistol because it's a throwaway weapon, and I want to save my ammo for the phases after this level, because the Chapter 5 phases are significantly more difficult than this one, in my opinion. The recording run went really well on them, so I wouldn't say they're that difficult solo. When we did it co-op, it was a bit of a nightmare, because Aiden didn't have any ammo. I was the girl, so I was up in the building sniping down, and it's just a test of patience at that point. But the AI doesn't seem to be doing anything here. The boss has come down again, but he immediately climbs back up, so I ask her to pull me up onto the roof, because I do think the only way to end some of these phases on the train is to actually injure the boss on the roof, because he falls off the train, and if you're not on top of it, I don't think it cues that cutscene. I think you can just endlessly fight the boss in a bit of a loop, and I already know this, so that's why I've come up onto the roof, because me and Aiden killed this dude so many times inside this cabin, it wasn't even funny. It just felt like an hour-long fight. But I could be wrong, guys, because like I say, nothing about this game is certain, because it just doesn't give you enough information. But I always do these commands because I've got the breakout ability on, so that they're really easy to do, and it saves you ammo. And I kind of feel like when you're doing an interactive thing like that, one of the quick time events, it just feels like you're doing more damage, even if you're not. It just feels like it. But he goes below us, so you want to watch that he doesn't come up too close, or he could give you some problems. But if he does, just gain some distance and then punish him. So he's going for the AI. I'm lathering him with shotgun blasts. He's pretty quick though, look at him. That stunned him, so it's obviously doing something. But he's going to come for me again, and there's nowhere to run here, so I have to knock him. And unfortunately, what I did wrong there, folks, is that I should have dropped down and used the iframes to not take a hit, but I didn't. And I'm not too sure why I did that. Maybe I panicked, but it's okay. We do have some healing items, so I'm not worried whatsoever about this boss, because it's more so, you know, a war of attrition than it is actually difficult, so I don't think you'll have too much trouble here. I swapped to an assault rifle because I've got a lot of rounds for it. That turns him into human form, so I'm going to close the distance. Usually I shoot him in the face once, that puts him down, and then I do the animation. I have tested shooting him with the Magnum and then getting on top of him, but if I'm completely honest, guys, I did not see a difference. So I decided to save the Lightning Hawk for later on. But that was kind of gay. I ended up getting caught in his animation of transforming, and it injured me. And it's all because you can't hold back in A to run backwards and use the camera so you can see what's chasing you. It just doesn't seem to work all that well. Leon doesn't want to do it sometimes. It's kind of weird. But once again, we've been unnecessarily injured, so I'm thinking about using the first aid spray. You'll notice I put a remote bomb down to try and do some serious damage to the boss. I have a lot of remote bombs, so if you're like me and you're stocked up, feel free to use them. You'll probably not use all of them by the end of the game. That was accidental right there. Ooh, and that was close. I used the iframes of the drop to survive the punch there. But, like, look at this boss fight. Why does it take this long? I seem to be doing, you know, aside from a couple of sloppy hits, I'm doing everything right. Turns back into human form. Oh, look, this is me getting impatient. Puts on the Magnum, big old Desert Eagle, puts one in his face. Then does the beat him up some more technique. I don't know, guys. Should it be rule of 3? Should it be 3 of these and he's done? You know, should it be shooting with a Magnum and that's it? Because Resident Evil used to work like that. You got a rocket launcher, good night, boss. You got a Magnum, good night, boss. I don't know, it's very strange, but you'll notice that I'm super eager to get back on top of the train, because in my mind when I'm recording, I'm thinking if I don't finish him on top of the train, we never get to the next phase. And that might not be true, guys. It might work while you're inside once you've done enough damage, but it just doesn't seem to be the case. So this is the way I do it. Bear in mind this was recorded very close to the game's release. I don't have the patch yet, which is probably going to make it a much more playable game, because the camera can be a nightmare at times. Not as much as aiming with a sniper rifle on top of a train is, but still an issue. So I'm getting impatient here, so I'm just hitting him with the Lightning Hawk, and luckily enough it cues the cutscene. So this is going to throw me off onto another train, the one next to it. And what happens here is all you have to do is run towards the camera, jumping over the boxes. It's nothing difficult. And then the sequence after that, unfortunately, is lost, so I'm going to have to talk over a blank screen and pretty much tell you what you're going to be expecting and what you have to do. So you'll notice now that the boss's back has grown like a dude. It's grown a Guardian from Borderlands, and this attachment has the face of the boss on it, so I do believe it's the critical point of him, and he can also use it as a machine gun. And it can be quite, you know, quite annoying, quite challenging, because it will knock you down and it will down you. There's a quick time event I was not expecting. There's the checkpoint, and here you are. So what's going to happen here is the boss is going to run to the side of you. He's going to start doing this where he glows, and he's going to start shooting. And what you want to do is you want to stay in cover on any part of the train while he shoots at you. As soon as he stops, come out of cover, shoot him with a gun. I chose the shotgun. It did perfect damage. I had well enough ammo to do it, so there was no problem as far as that's concerned. Once you shoot him quite liberally for far too long, because this game's like that, it'll go to the next phase, and what the boss will do is he will rip the cover away from you. So what you want to start doing then is you want to keep on doing it until there's no cover left. Keep on shooting him, stay in cover, hide, all that good stuff. When there's no cover left, the boss will run to get to aligned with you. Whenever he is parallel from you, he's going to fire that like fucking tentacle thing that's like a spear at you. All you have to do, shoot the boss, wait for him to line up, and then dodge roll to the side. It will miss you every time. You can get some easy shots on the boss and just keep repeating that. Keep on, shooting him as he aligns up to you. Soon as he's aligned, dodge out of the way, shoot him, repeat ad nauseum. He will go down. It's not difficult. I just lost it on the capture, I'm afraid. I do apologise, guys. If I could have pressed, restart checkpoint and gone back and done it again, I would have, but when I did it, it had already checkpointed where we were after the boss. So, my apologies, but the next section should be starting now. So this is what you see after the train has gone down, and they make the famous last words of, "Oh, the boss is dead now, we did it," and, it's never that simple. But you climb out of the water, there's nothing to kill, there's no challenge here. All you do is walk up to the top of this verge, and you're done, guys. The level's down, and you are one chapter away from beating this campaign. So thanks for watching, and you take care now.
I don't know, but we did what we could. Let's go.
Hey, you! Stay in the line!
There's been no sign of C-virus infection here.